Hello, my name's Geoff Barraclough from Evo Payments, and we're here in Berlin for the MPE conference. And I'm here with Nitzan Tal from Verifone. Nitzan, welcome.
Hi, it's a pleasure to be here.
And have you got any statistics that maybe back that up in terms maybe how you're seeing Apple Pay being used on your terminals, for example?
So Apple Pay is definitely the forefront here, and in the US, I have to say I don't have those figures off the top of my head, but definitely it's grown from basically zero just over a year ago. Now it is by now a very substantial market share. I think another very interesting example would be the Starbucks application, which basically allows you to pay for coffee. Yeah, in Starbucks coffee shops in the US, and if I remember correctly, more than 20% of all coffees bought in the US are done through the Starbucks app, which is in principle a prepaid app. Yeah.
So
very popular.
Yeah. So you mentioned contactless. Now, am I right in saying that all your terminals are now shipped with contactless as standard? And are you seeing usage growing?
Oh, definitely. Although it's at the end of the day, we have all of our terminals contactless ready or NFC ready out of the box. It's still up to the acquirer or the owner of the estate to decide whether they want to switch it on or not, or really up to the merchant. And these are commercial topics between the acquirer, the merchant, and the card schemes. Definitely, it is growing. I also see it personally as iShop. I see many more people, and more importantly, even you see the store assistants actively using it. So sometimes people would hand over their card to them, and they would just take it and tap it for the consumer. I know this is not the use case that Visa and MasterCard intended for contactless, but just to show you that if store assistants have by now understood how it works, then consumers are on the right path to it as well.
Now, are you seeing any big differences in usage of contactless between different countries?
So some countries are taking the lead, definitely. So in Europe, between the UK and Poland, these are the ones that have the highest number of contactless terminal as percentage of the overall terminal population. And this is where also the card schemes have been very active in promoting it. I know in other countries they try to do it as well, and in Germany we've passed the 100,000 terminal mark with contactless, but still it is not comparable to the figures that you have in countries again like the UK or Poland.
Now, in your presentation, you talked a lot about Verifone's vision for the future of point of sale and how you saw that developing and how you saw this open ecosystem working. Can you say a bit about practically how that will be of value to a retailer?
So we see Verifone's role as supporting our customers, whether acquirers, retailers, terminal estate owners, in providing more services to their customers, and at the end of the day also to the end user. And we see acquiring becoming more and more commoditized. Margins are shrinking. It's clear that acquirers, merchants are seeking new streams of revenues, and consumers are also looking at different and a more rich user experience or customer experience at the store. And as mentioned before, if you want to use your loyalty points to pay, for example, American Express points, you want to use it to get a discount, or you have a coupon, you want to get a relevant coupon for you when you enter the store and use it immediately when you check out. These are the kinds of services that help create a better customer experience, and at the end generate also more revenues for our customers and their customers.
And these are the kind of services you can integrate into the workflow of a payment terminal.
Exactly. So, also today there are many value-added services, meaning non-payment applications running on the point of sale, which Verifone have built over the years. For example, DCC, mobile phone top-up. But these are I would call them traditional value-added services or legacy. With the mobile apps coming in, we see, so what if in the past it would be several new apps a year at best, here it's like on a weekly basis. Companies coming in, there's a lot of venture capital money flowing in, and everybody wants at the end to converge at the point of sale. So if I have my new cool coupon, I have to accept the point of sale. And And we see the point of payment, the payment terminal as the center point for all of these. If you look at the cash register market, it's extremely fragmented. There are hundreds of software cash registers per country. Sometimes they specialize in one vertical. Sometimes they're just in a very regional basis. On the other hand, terminals, they're only like 2.5. So, for example, with Verifone, you would cover more than half of the German market with one integration. Whereas with one ECR software integration, you might cover one retailer.
But we're covering...
Scale counts here, so just to say scale
counts. We're covering this area later on in the conference. And we've got a couple of cloud-based tablet point-of-sale software vendors that are going to be speaking on panels and so on. And they're building ecosystems of other applications around their core service, which look very similar to yours. So as a retailer, am I going to have a choice? If I've got a loyalty app or a new service I want to integrate with, I can either do it at the till point or I can do it at the payment terminal.
Of course, that's also what happens today. I mean, the retailer always has a choice between the two. But again, because the ECR software is so fragmented, so if you have some value-added app that wants to integrate, it's a very lengthy process. Whereas with us, for example, if you have value-added services integrate into our ecosystem in the UK, taking it into Germany or taking it to Poland, taking it to Italy, it's very, very easy. So retailers can benefit from third-party applications that have already been integrated also in other markets or in their markets. And that's a huge benefit. The time to market here is critical. And also the ability to have a marketplace where a retailer can say, okay, I want to look at this one, take it to my terminal, almost at the flip of a switch.
But how do you deal with the other objection we get from retailers, which is, well, I guess, two objections. One of them is that half of transactions are still cash and therefore can't be treated on a payment terminal. And the second one being that the payment comes right at the end of the buying process, and therefore you only know you've got a loyalty discount or something special happens after you put the card in the machine, which is, of course, a long way after you've been through the whole shopping experience in the store.
Okay, so you asked two very different questions.
I did ask
so I just want to say I'll handle those separately. So even if it's a cash transaction, it doesn't matter. As long as you want to have some interaction with the consumer, the point of payment is the perfect way to do so. You're used to it. They know that this is a device that they interact with, even if at this specific instant they're using cash. But they know that they would enter a card there. They know it's secure. They know if the terminal says, "Hey, you got 50 points," or you got a €10 discount, it's really happening. Yeah. The core functionality of these devices are security, right? So I would say whether it's cash, card, wallet, mobile wallet, I don't know. That doesn't matter because it's just a point of interaction with the consumer. On the second question that you raised about, is it already too late? I would say it's yes and no. So yes, in that sense that I can, if I only see an offer when I check out, it might be too late. But then again, it might not be too late to tell you, hey, do you know that we're open next Sunday? Yeah, or Thursday we have late shopping hours. So that's or have you thought about a new loyalty card? Just as I would say as a goodbye message to the consumer. And the second thing is, so no, it's not too late because the point of payment is also beaconized. And with the beacons, basically, that so once the consumer is in the area of the beacon, which can be anywhere between, I would say, 2 meters to 70 meters, that's 70 meters, that means that you can address from the terminal anywhere in the store. So the customer is in, if he has the app of that store, you can say, welcome, Mr. So-and-so, today 10% off on this item. And when that means you can still influence his buying decision.
Because the beacon thing's fascinating. So you now also have beacons inside all new shipped terminals, or just some of them.
So we announced a few months ago a new product line called Engage, and in Engage, pretty much all the devices will be shipped with beacons. Again, beacon ready. Of course, with the backend system, with the cloud system to manage those, the location. And also on some of our existing terminals, we can retrofit them, I would say field upgradable. So it's a very easy upgrade to include beacons. And that's what we're doing today in some markets.
And that's very interesting because that could give you thousands of beacons in the physical environment, which could be accessed by any range of applications. Potentially, that could be quite an asset you built. I was going to ask, finally, I guess, about competition. I mean, traditionally, I guess the industry have seen Ingenico and Verifone as two sworn enemies, and they're not little players. Is that still how you see it? Or do you see the competition as being much wider field now?
That's a good question. So I would say it depends on which of our activities. So I don't want to go too much into analyzing Ingenico's strategic plans and whatnot. Also, I don't have the full picture. It's clear, but on the core, Verifone and Ingenico are still competing head-to-head. At the end of the day, it's still our bread and butter. Without a terminal in the field, I cannot offer all the nice, cool new services that having said that, as we look into other fields, so whether it's those that marketplace, we have a media offering, we have taxi solutions, where Ingenico is less present there, and then we might face other ones, because these are different ecosystems that we have evolved over the year in Verifone. So obviously, when I advertise media on the screen, I might be competing with a billboard company over the same marketing budget of that retailer, right? We don't necessarily see some competing, but definitely we're touching fields where we would see other competitors and other partnerships also in this ecosystem, in these ecosystems, definitely.
Excellent, Nitzan. Thanks very much. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.